This is the Untitled Car Show, with your hosts for the evening, Ike.
Billy, it's your day! That's what you were practicing for!
And Proc.
Hey, buddy, roll your window down so I can ask you about your dead friend.
We hope you thoroughly enjoyed the show. Thanks for listening.
I see dead people.
What a weird way to start the episode. Hey,
Episode 14, yay! At Untitled Car Show,
Yes.
untitledcarshow@gmail.com.
Opposite Lock, iTunes, Stitcher, everywhere you can find us, anywhere you want to listen to us. We are where your ears are, so please put us in it. Put us inside
I
your
don't know
ears.
why, but that somehow kind of made sense to me. Maybe
Yeah.
it's just because I'm drunk, but
Yeah. We do not indulge in any beverages while we're recording these. So, anyway, how are you doing today,
What
Brock? I don't know.
that is
I
a
don't
complete and
know.
utter lie.
So,
But yes.
yeah, okay. So, getting straight onto topic here, let's go in with something kind of deep. So, we complain an awful lot about living in the D.C. metropolitan area.
Yes.
Yes. So, I got to thinking, and I saw an interesting post on Opposite Lock, and someone said, where's the best place to be as a car guy,
As a car enthusiast.
as a car enthusiast?
Well, a lot of our downloads
Wichita, Kansas?
continue to come to that area.
So that's
I
a good
have
sign.
never been there.
No.
I have never been in Kansas,
That is me neither.
but
Actually, I've been in Kansas, but I drove through. So
nah.
I said hi.
And bye
Yeah.
after 4 hours.
Yeah, pretty much. Okay, so here's the criteria. So first of all, let's stay within the continental United States. So
That's a good call. I mean, we can talk about maybe like if different countries too.
yeah, but
I don't, like, is it? It seems like there's a difference between like being an enthusiast and just like, I don't know, like rigging stuff. Like, I don't know. If you want, like, if you drove through Pennsylvania,
yeah,
you would see a lot of cars that were just like older cars that are just like, it's like, how are they still running? But they're kind of
Yeah.
like just rigged to run, maybe.
like duct tape and coffee beans and all that.
I mean, my dad has used a coffee can to extend, like, to fix a leak in his muffler.
How did he do that?
I have no idea, but I remember like looking under there one time. I was like, "Is that a coffee can?" Yeah, it stops the leak. Okay, Dad.
Best part of waking up is Folgers mufflers. Something like that.
That's actually pretty good.
Yeah. Hey,
Actually,
look at
the
me.
theme
I,
song.
yeah.
You try.
So we're gonna do that's our new theme song, right?
But is
Yeah.
are they enthusiasts if they're just making stuff last for 400,000 miles?
Well, that's a part of it too. Well,
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I kind of get. So first of all, we kind of have to describe what's an enthusiast. Is an enthusiast the guy who likes to wrench on the cars, or is the enthusiast the kind of guy who likes to drive the cars? Because they both have their places. So like maybe Pennsylvania's the best place to be if you like to wrench on a car.
Yeah.
Yeah, they got a lot of old cars driving around up there.
Older cars. You know, like you think of like the Midwest or even like the southern states.
Yeah,
In the I don't know, like in the hotter climates, it seems like cars last a lot longer.
yeah,
Um, 'cause
like
they're
California
not-
car and all that.
Yeah,
so.
California, Texas, places where they're not putting salt on the road that's corroding it.
Oh, yeah.
You know, things like that.
Mhm.
I don't know. Could it be like a city maybe that like have it had
Well, I guess that's like
like think about it. New York. What,
yeah.
people are like relatively wealthy if they live in New York.
Well, you have to be.
Like New York City. Why?
But
But
you-
why would you drive a really nice car there? Because it seems like every car there has like a dent in it from
Yeah,
the guy next to you.
Yeah, you'd end up with either like driving through construction and fucking up your car, or you'd end up like
Yeah.
driving around and like running someone over if you have a decent car. But
Like what are your thoughts
so
on it?
here's what I'm kind of thinking. So first of all, like you kind of have to think about like let's talk about just driving on roads around here. So you'd have to be someplace where the people are first and foremost either sparse or they know how to drive. So that kind of rules out like the coast in my mind.
Yeah.
Because it can't be
I have seen nice cars in Florida.
okay, yeah, but driving around in Florida with like grandma and grandpa and like
Well, yeah, nicer, but those aren't enthusiasts.
That's
They're
a good
just
point.
It's just
Rich
elderly
people.
people that have nicer luxury sedans, maybe.
yeah. Or
A lot of them.
I've seen Lamborghinis and I've seen Ferraris and all that driving around down
Sure.
there. But it's like, I don't think you can enjoy driving it down there. I think you're in a constant state of fear.
Right.
Okay, so here's the thing. So, like, driving the roads, like around here, there are some great roads to drive because we got hills and we got lakes and it's beautiful.
Yeah, you get out to Western Maryland,
Yeah.
into West Virginia. A
Yeah.
lot of nice roads.
Yeah. West Virginia is actually not a bad contender for that because you got a lot of good, like, mechanics. You got a lot of good driving roads.
The speed limit in there in West
70
Virginia is
miles
70
per hour,
miles an hour,
which is very nice.
A little bit different than most states.
Yeah. Well, I think Ohio speed limit's 70 miles per hour now. But
Okay.
Ohio is you enter Ohio and then 4.5 hours later.
Well, you're not required to have insurance in Ohio.
What?
Or if you do, there's some premise on it, and maybe one of our listeners can answer it for us in
Yeah.
a comment. But there's something about Ohio where
You're not required to have insurance? Or like
I
maybe,
believe-
yeah, that's weird.
I believe so.
That would not surprise me about Ohio, though. Ohio's always got those sorts of weird laws and bullshit. Any state that's known for putting chili on spaghetti is kind of weird. So,
Yeah.
yeah. But, like, here's my thought. Like, so it can't be a state that's a desert state for driving. Because as fun as desert driving is, it's just boring. You're just flat out all the time, and you can't really enjoy the limits of your car.
No, because
So-
everything's going. It just all kind of melds together.
Yeah, so you kind of have to rule out like Southern California, like Southern Texas, Arizona, Nevada, Utah, and all that stuff. So you know what would make this more handy? So we have like a fancy map to kind of like look at. North Dakota, South Dakota, like high plain states. There's no forest. There's no like mountains. There's nothing
Right.
in the way. So you kind of rule out the middle bit of the country.
I think like people are more maybe not car enthusiasts, but like specific car enthusiasts.
Yeah.
I mean, like think about it. When you went to your Volvo Fest or whatever,
Yeah.
those are Volvo enthusiasts.
Yes.
Corvettes.
Mm-hmm.
Corvettes, Carlisle.
Yeah.
Corvette Club. You are an enthusiast of that specific car. I think it's hard to narrow down the maybe geographical area.
Maybe. Like, I guess, is the place where a Volvo enthusiast is going to have fun going to be the same place where a Corvette enthusiast is going to have fun? Like, I don't think it is. It's one of those things where I think you're very right. Like, my limits and abilities are, but like
your car, like when you went out to your, your
call
Volvo.
meeting. I know you want to.
your Waterfest or whatever it is. I know it's different.
Bridge round divergent. What?
I think that's VW thing.
Oh, okay.
But yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, you're driving, taking corners, this or that.
Yeah.
Corvette enthusiasts are more like, let's all line up and drive down the highway
Yeah. That's a good
at
point.
50 miles an hour.
Yeah. We're
a car that can
old.
obviously go,
Yeah.
150 miles an hour.
Yeah, and it's doing 50 with some guy who's 97 behind it. So,
Yeah.
yeah. No, that's a good point. I'm starting to think though. West Virginia, Western North Carolina, which is where my little Volvo meeting was with the Tail of the Dragon. You know what it might be? I think I might have just stumbled upon this. You ever been to Tennessee?
Yes, I have.
Yeah. Roads around there are all very nice. The speed limit's relatively high. I think it's like 65 on like backcountry roads.
Okay.
That might be like a decent place to be like a car
Places
guy.
like that seem like people with like cool ass old cars
Yeah.
come out of the woodwork. You say
Yes.
you're having like a car show. Well, the local church down here is having
Yeah.
a car show,
Yeah.
and this 90-year-old guy that you were like, God, does this guy even know how to drive?
Yeah.
He comes there with like a fucking awesome car from
Yeah.
the 1950s.
Yeah. It's
And he's done all the work himself to restore it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Or it was just sitting in his garage since the 1950s.
yeah, that's also true. Like, I've had this car since brand new. Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
a Nixon era.
Now, that being said, I will say this as a Volvo enthusiast. I know that the world record for highest mileage car by a person who bought the car brand new is a Volvo P1800. So,
Really?
Suck a bag of dicks. Yeah, it's 3 million miles. I forget. I think the guy's name is Herb Goldman.
3
Like that.
million miles.
3
on
million
one-
miles.
on one engine.
1 inch. He's had it rebuilt, but he hasn't had, like, parts have been replaced, but the engine and the mechanicals, like, everything's just been done at, like, service intervals, is my understanding.
Holy.
Yeah,
crap.
it's pretty amazing. He just, like, went over 3 million miles in Alaska. So,
And it's. I mean, maybe going outside the U.S.
yeah.
other places. I don't know. You think of like Germany and they have a lot of cool cars.
Yeah.
I think you can be an enthusiast there because like they have like the Autobahn.
I do think that it's a very decent point.
You know what? I'm gonna see how ballsy this car can get.
And they have the Nuremberg Ring, which is a great little track, and it's
Right.
still a public road, which is awesome. But I was listening to someone, I was reading it somewhere, and they were talking about how the motoring enthusiast is actually killing the Autobahn. Because the problem they're having is these guys are coming out from all over the world because they have this unrestricted road. And you got these people who are using this for commuting. So if you think about it, if we had an unrestricted road and we're driving around, like let's say, well, your Nissan's a good example. Your Nissan's a new car; it's relatively new, but you're not going to be driving that thing 110 miles per hour down the highway.
Well, that's not what it's made for.
No. So you're driving on the highway and you're stuck behind some jackass in like an oil tank truck who's doing like 60 miles per hour. But if you try and get over into the left lane and start speeding up, you're going to have some guy in a souped up, 7 Series BMW on your ass, honking and like hollering at you while you're trying to get back in front of this tanker truck.
Right.
So it's one of those things where it's just become it's not that it's congested because it's not really a congested road, but the problem is because that left lane is such a fearful place to be if you're in a car
that
not
can't handle
built
it.
for it. Yeah. A lot of the like local Germans are actually like trying to get rid of the unrestricted road. Yeah, which sucks. So,
Well, it sucks for us but I can imagine.
Yeah.
like trying to deal with that around here. That'd be a clusterfuck.
well, if we did unrestricted roads around here, everyone would be dead within a matter of days. So,
Yeah.
it'd be like that episode of South Park where like the old people are driving into houses. That's what it would be around here. It'd be like, this isn't country kitchen. Like, holy, like, I don't know where I'm going.
Well, that's pretty much what it is now.
That's true.
So-
Yeah, but when they hit stuff, it's a much less like high rate of
Is that
speed.
a
So.
speed bump?
Yeah.
No, that was someone's dog. Thank you.
Yeah, it's that guy and it's that old lady and then it's like the guy in his bro truck.
see a damn thing.
No, I can drive 200 miles per hour. Woo-wee. Man, you're in a ditch. All right, you just ran over like a whole school bus full of children. Congratulations, like jackass. That's the problem with. Okay, so I don't think we'll ever get the unrestricted roads here because we are so fucking weird with our like choices of cards.
Doesn't Montana like have?
No, they had to restrict them, and it was
They used to not, right?
It used to be unrestricted, and then some jackass in a Corvette ruined it for the rest of us.
Oops.
Yeah, well, it wasn't his fault; it was the police officer's fault. It's a tough job, and we respect all police officers, and please don't pull me over. But it was a guy was driving a Corvette, and he was doing like 150 miles per hour, and the speed limit sign says reasonable rate. So the police officer pulled him over, gave him a ticket because he said 150 miles per hour was an unreasonable rate on the state road in Montana during the daytime, this and the other. So the guy, my understanding was a semi-professional race car driver. Lived in Montana, knew the roads. This was his commuting route. So he brought all this evidence and stuff to court, and he basically proved you can't give me a ticket for a reasonable rate violation, which over there, like it was like a $500 ticket at the time because it's, basically unrestricted.
Right.
So they basically threw out the ticket, which meant that the state of Montana said, well, we have to put a speed limit in.
Yeah.
So they
What is
fucked
it
it up
now?
for all of us.
It's like 80 something.
No, it's the highest speed limit's in between Austin and San Antonio, and that's 85 miles per hour. Montana's a 75 mile per hour speed limit, and Nevada between the northwest corner and Vegas has an 80 mile per hour speed limit. Yeah, I drove that into Challenger, and you can't do 80 miles per hour and keep up a decent gas mileage, is what I found out.
No.
Because you're in like the high desert and like there's no oxygen, and that big muscle car was just like.
Yeah, dying. It's hot as hell there too.
Yeah, and I was getting like 16 miles to the gallon, and I just saw my range start to decrease, and I just passed a place that's like 200 miles to the next gas station.
You're like, oh god.
Yeah, and I'm like, my range right now says I can make it 190, so we're gonna slow it down a little bit.
And we're gonna put it in neutral the last 10 miles.
Just hope that it coasts all the way down.
There you go. Yeah, if you go fast enough, you can just neutral it the last few miles.
Yeah, maybe.
Doubtful.
No, but that's the thing. Like driving in a high desert's so awesome, but I think you're right. I think if you go outside of the country to look for that ultimate driving place, have you ever been to Italy and been on their roads?
I have not. No.
The Italians, if you think the Marylanders drive like idiots, you should see what the Italians drive like on the road. It is scary.
I can imagine.
It's awesome on the like.
Is it scary because like they don't know how to drive, or it's scary because they do know how to drive and they're just they just. It's frightening because you're not used to the way that they drive, but they all kind of just do their thing.
No, none of them can drive. The problem is that they enforce like traffic regulations so intermittently. Like if you're in a very nice, like fancy, like Italian sports car, and the Carabinieri sees you drive by at like 600 miles per hour, they'll be like, "He's good, he's Italian." They see you drive by and you're doing like 90 in like a BMW, they'll be like, "We pull him over." Like he's German, it's no good. Like, so it's like very.
It's a very German accent. Good job.
Yeah,
For Italy.
I'm trying to do. Am I doing German? I'm losing all my accents over here.
I don't know.
Like, boopily boopily. Why did BMW drive by 200 miles per hour?
Let's pull him over.
Yeah. And the weird thing is they got little like signs on sticks,
Okay.
and that's how they pull you over. They get in front of you and they kind of like wave you over. So yeah, yeah, it's weird. So they have some of the best. I would say this: the Italians have some of the best roads.
Okay.
But they don't have the drivers on the roads to make it decent.
Right.
And then, like, I don't know. I feel like Italy, like, you know what? You know where might actually have decent roads would be Ukraine. Weirdly enough. Like,
It probably does, like, but there
Like-
might be checkpoints everywhere.
that's a good point. I'm talking like Western Ukraine, like over towards like the European side, like close
Right.
up to the Alps and all that.
I could see Russia having good roads too, out in the middle, like nowhere,
You know what? That would be an awesome like trip.
like Siberia.
Yeah.
The one highway that goes through Siberia.
Yeah. And just like hop on and do like 200 miles per hour and just say, fuck it.
That's true.
It's probably just not even a road. It's probably just tundra. Just like, comrade, you want to get to Moscow.
Ah.
It's good. Like, we annex your car now. Like, political
Indeed.
jokes.
Indeed.
Yeah. So, Japan, probably not a good place to drive. I mean, I'm sure
A
Japan.
smaller island, so it's probably not. Probably has one main road going up and down it.
Well, they have a couple of main roads. I've seen maps of Japan. They have like basically 3 major interstates, is my understanding, that run up and down the country. But to their credit, everyone seems to know how to drive in Japan. So
It's very strict in
Yes.
countries like
yes,
that.
it's
So
very. They're very.
They follow the rules
law-abiding.
very-
Yes.
accordingly.
Yeah. Plus, if you have to ask for directions, I don't think you'd be able to understand a goddamn thing they say.
No.
Yeah.
Nope. But they understand us. So.
Yeah. China probably has some pretty good driving roads.
Driving
like-
roads, maybe. Yeah.
Like up there. I'm sure.
Although there's a lot of people in China, so the
Yeah.
isn't that the place where the people got like stuck in that traffic jam for like 8 or 10 days?
That wouldn't surprise me.
I think that's where it was.
I know that.
It's like somewhere in Beijing and
Yeah, that wouldn't
Hong
surprise
Kong
me.
somewhere.
Yeah, there's. Well, after day number 1, you should just leave your car. Let's just be honest.
Like people were selling their stuff
Yeah.
on the sides of the roads.
There's some places in Africa where they have traffic jams that last that long on a regular basis.
No, thank you.
Like if you do the math, like if you had to commute through like a major thoroughfare.
Imagine you're just visiting there and you're like, I only have like a week to travel around this whole area. Maybe not, maybe
Yeah.
like China or something. You're seeing the Great Wall.
Yeah,
You just like have 1 week and you get stuck in that traffic jam for like 6 days.
that would be awful.
I would snap.
Yeah. Yeah, that would be awful. Like your little rented, like I'm sure. Well, I know they love their
Your
Buicks
little
over
rickshaw.
there. Yeah. Well, you should just hire a rickshaw and hop in it at that point.
Yeah.
Like fuck it. Like I'm going the old way. So
You get there quicker.
yeah. Yeah.
That's pretty funny.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
we're gonna go ahead and take a quick break right here, right now. I think.
And we'll be right back. Thank you.
Woo! All right. I just lost my little windsock there. All right, so we're back. So
Lost the tube sock.
yeah, this little thing. So yeah, so here's the thing. If you think you know the best place for driving, like as an enthusiast, please Twitter us, email us.
Leave us a comment.
Leave us a comment or call in. And if you want to call in, as always, send us an email to untitledcarshow@gmail.com, and we will get you the contact information and the time to call in. So, yeah. So I went to the mechanic,
Right.
like down where I'm at, and to do a little safety inspection for, the new car and all that. So
Okay.
they have those little like creepy like wall like calendar photos of like the woman posing with the car.
Like the naked ones.
Yes. Like it's like
It's kind of fucking awkward. Like if I was like a woman going to the like mechanic shop and I like saw that,
Well, first-
I'd probably feel like kind of weirded out.
yeah. First of all, you're never going to get another woman customer that repeats after that unless they're driving a Subaru or something, but it's one of those things where it's like who
Yeah, let's just post centerfolds of Playboy like
yeah.
on the wall,
Well, that would actually be slightly more classy in my mind than the
like redneck chick.
yeah. Well, first of all, it
Well,
was
actually, we don't know because she's not wearing anything.
Well, yeah. Well, she was wearing pants, but no top, and she was washing a lifted like truck. So, very, very like. There's a lot of metaphors in here. So, for the reason not to associate yourself with those guys with the lifted trucks, I suppose. But
Right.
it's one of those things like so. I have a calendar that has cars on it.
Ooh.
But it doesn't have the like half naked women on it.
I'm not really sure why there has to be like a naked woman lying on it. I'd rather just like
It's insulting to me.
I'd rather just have an attractive woman calendar.
Well, see, that's the thing. Like,
That like I don't need to
yeah,
see both. Like it's okay. Am I getting turned on by the car right now or the girl?
Yeah,
Like,
that's the
I don't
issue.
know.
Like-
I just don't know. I'm confused.
it's like they're trying to short circuit your brain with that sort of stuff. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know, like what I'm supposed to. Like, even in like car magazines where they do the like, oh, it's a half naked woman laying on a car. It's like,
Ooh.
yeah, well, no,
But it's like,
why do we
do
care?
people really believe that they're like gonna like the girl comes with the car if they buy the car?
Yeah, I don't know.
And
Like-
it's usually like a concept car.
Yeah. Or it's like some guy's like low rider he spent like 90 years working on,
Yeah.
and like he's finally got it all put together, and like the hubris, like this guy spent so much time and effort to like hide every bolt and like weld everything like perfectly, and then you get like some lady with like denim cutoffs like scratching the shit out of the paint like sitting on it. Like it doesn't make any
Yeah, I'd be
sense.
pissed.
Yeah, we like cars. We're car people.
Yeah.
You don't need to try and
We
confuse
like cars.
us.
Period.
Yes.
We like women. Period.
Yes.
Why are you? What's going on?
I can't put my dick in both at the same time, okay?
Yeah.
I mean, I
need
can't
to-
put my dick in the car. I mean, what?
Well, yeah.
Don't put it in the gas tank. There's a little tab in there.
But
No, but
that's
it-
not what the exhaust pipe's for, right? Sorry.
Yeah,
It's terrible.
Yeah, that is awful. But it
But
doesn't.
true.
it-
Um,
I have a story for you if you want to hear it.
Please, yes.
So in high school,
Oh God, Ike.
no,
you,
so I did not fuck a
you
car.
terrible pre-pubescent fucking teenager that.
No. So in high school, I'm taking a like criminal like law class, like it's like pre-criminal
This is just
justice
getting
thing.
worse.
So we're into class and we're going over case studies of stuff, and we're going over the weird crime section. And in Chicago, yeah, earlier that year,
Okay,
there was a
go on.
in Chicago earlier that year, there was a man who bought a brand new, I believe it was a BMW, came home to his apartment, like row house, parked his car outside, went up to go grab his, girlfriend or wife or whatever it was, and come back out and show off the car to her. So in that time, apparently some passerby whose name was redacted in the little crime stat thing, the gentleman decided, who was coming by, that he really enjoyed this car and wanted to do things to this car with his penis. So he took out his dick in fucking broad daylight and inserted it into the muffler. And if we have any sensitive listeners, I'm going to try and be as tactful as I can at this point. In high heat situations, the member
Okay.
expands, and then once it makes contact with the hot metal, because the engine just turned off, it cauterizes and sticks.
Okay. Yeah.
So the
Or-
poor gentleman became stuck in the tailpipe of this car, while this guy who just bought this nice brand new car comes down with his wife and sees this guy literally stuck in the back of it, hooting and hollering. And
help me.
help out! Well, it was Chicago, and so it's probably something.
Give me my biscuits.
Yeah, this isn't anything like the Bears. Someone quick coming out of the ding. Like, I'm saying Chicagoan, but still probably redneck. So the police department and the fire department had to come and cut him out of this thing. And because they couldn't jack it up because it would probably cause more blood loss, they had to literally get out the jaws of life and just start chopping through the trunk, down through the car, and basically dislocate everything that way. So this guy's brand new BMW got lost because some guy decided to try and have sex with it. So
It's a terrible story.
that is a terrible story. 2003, somewhere in Chicago. Look at it.
Hey.
Yeah. What were we talking about before that? What the quick aside off that? So yeah. So babes posing
yeah.
with cars. So yeah, my problem
So
with that
apparently
is
that guy just has a magazine with cars on it. No
Yes.
girls.
Well,
Or not a
maybe
magazine.
that's what caused that. Maybe that like psychological link of like the hot women into cars. Like he just
Yeah, I could
merged them
see
into
that.
one.
Yeah.
I think he should sue those people who do that. Like
Yeah, like you guys confused me.
yeah, I grew up at a young age, and I learned to have sex with cars from watching your magazines and all that. So I'm assuming he talks like that now. So well, he probably has a very high pitched voice because I'm sure stuff couldn't be put back together at that time.
Indeed.
Yeah. So yeah, that's awful. Got fucked over by the Germans. I'll come up with a worse pun than that. Just give me time. So, putting the hot women on the cars. While I appreciate hot women, I want to look at hot women. I think we both do.
Yes.
Unless you need to tell me something.
Yes.
But I don't want to look at them and the car at the same time. And I feel like it's insulting to me when they go like, well, why would any red-blooded American be interested in a piece of, metal unless we like stick like a hot chick on top of it? It's just insulting. Like
Well, and it's not like,
Yeah.
it's not like that a girl like that. I mean, there are some, but it's not like many girls like that are going to be with a wrench actually like doing an oil change for me on
Yeah.
my car.
Which is what you want. Is a
Which is
woman
what
doing
you
your
want,
oil
but
change.
yeah. What we want and what reality is are two very different things.
Yeah, very true. It's not like the booth babe from the last episode. Like, oh yeah, it's 3.6.
change a tire.
Yeah, that's a good point. Have you noticed? Random aside on that. Have you noticed how many like men our age don't know how to like fix a spare tire or do an oil change or anything like that?
That's I don't get that either. You're on the side of the road and you see like AAA's there like changing a tire.
Like, this is going to sound insulting, but it's not insulting. It's just go ahead and grow a vagina at this point, because you're basically both useless when it comes to the car. And if you're just going to be the guy who just pops open the hood and looks in the engine bay and goes, well, I have no idea what the hell I'm looking at. I don't even know why I'm standing up here. You should just both be women. Like, you should. There are more women now who probably know how to work on a car than men, to be perfectly honest.
Right.
Like,
I mean, listen, maybe you take your, car to a shop to get the oil changed, but know how to do it.
yeah, you don't have to do it all the time. Like, I don't always change my own oil, especially because I got a skid pan I got to get to underneath there. My car's 2 inches off the ground, and my ramps don't even work on it, so I got to get out the jack, and that's just a giant pain in the ass. But if you're the sort of person who, like, well, maybe, I don't know what I'm looking underneath the car. Like, I guarantee, and I bring them up often, I guarantee everyone who drives a Prius has no idea how to work on that Prius.
I wouldn't even know what I was doing. But why would you get a car that you don't know how to like work on?
Well, I think there's certain skills. Like, just coming up with a list right now. Like, there's certain skills you should know when you own a vehicle. I think you should know, men and women. I think you should know how to change the oil, change a flat.
Change a flat.
Yeah, and I'm trying to think of like, is there anything else like maybe like a timing belt
But
and
it's
spark
not even.
plugs?
In this day and age, like how hard is it to just pull up a forum
And look it up
and look up anything, any sort of issue you're having with your car?
Yeah.
You hear like a clunking noise. You don't know how to change the oil. You don't know how to change the spark plugs. How to do a tune-up.
Yeah.
It's on YouTube.
That's very true.
You know, like in this day and age, there should be no excuse that you can't do it yourself.
Yeah.
Other than the fact that you're an idiot and want to spend money.
Well, that's the thing. You just spend.
There are some things that you can't do yourself. Like the ball joint that I had to get replaced. I would have tried to do myself, but I'm glad I didn't. Because I'd just rather pay someone else to deal with it.
Yeah.
Not that I don't know how to do it, though.
Yeah.
Or I couldn't have learned how to do it.
Yeah, the tools and equipment become like, you don't have to press and all that.
But the simple things like an oil change, changing your tire, like why? Like it's embarrassing. Like
it is.
I need AAA out here to change my tire. Well, you don't have the fucking shit to take your tire off? Yeah, I do. Well,
yeah, it's in the back.
Why
of my
are you
car.
not?
Yeah, why aren't you just doing it? Like, go out and just fucking change your own tire.
Yeah,
like,
you're fucking man.
Yeah. Well, another example of this too is like, you drive around. I'm sure you get this more with the Corvette than you do with the Nissan. I discovered when I used to have a Saturn, no one ever used to come up to me and ask me for like, hey, can you help me? My car's dead. Can you jump me? This, that, and the other, blah, blah, blah. I never had anyone ask me when I had the Saturn.
No.
Both Challengers and the Volvo now.
You look creepy in the Saturn, probably.
Well, yeah. Well, anyone driving around a Saturn does kind of look creepy. Like, But driving around the Volvo and the two Challengers, I constantly get people like in a parking lot if they have a dead battery. They like see me and they like hunt me out. They're like, "Oh, thank God you're here." I love you. I was going to a Joanne Fabric to get some stuff for the Volvo.
Okay.
Not for the Volvo, for the Challenger actually.
Mm-hmm. I'm sure. Yeah.
No, I was
Yep.
The armrest, I didn't really like the leather that was on it, so I was going to stitch in a new one. So I went to Joanne Fabric to get it. I could have just said I was going to GameStop because it's right next door.
You probably should have instead of saying that, because now I think differently of you.
Yeah,
in
listen.
different ways.
That's another one of those skills you should know. I think everyone should know how to sew. Like, you can't...
I do know how to sew.
Yeah, okay, see, there you go.
If you have a button fall off your fucking suit, you should know how to put it back on.
Yes, and if you need to like put a patch or something on.
Can you sew this shit back on?
Yes, it's a very useful life skill, and it's cool because you can do some small stuff to your car if you really want to. Right. But when I was at Joanne Fabric, I had the Challenger. I had like a lady run up to me, and she literally said, "Oh, thank God you're here. Can you help me? My car's not starting." Like, what's it doing? Like, "Oh, I turned the key and it's not going anywhere." I'm like, and it's a mom and like 3 kids, and they're like in a parking lot. And
you're like, fuck, I have to help out.
Yeah, I have to help out. And like, how do you not? You're a fucking mom. You should know how to get your car out of a jam. Like, you should have jumper cables in your car at all times as a parent. Like, well, I don't understand.
If you're carrying a fucking first aid kit for your kids, that's... I scraped my knee.
Little Billy's being made to wear a helmet when he
fucking
skateboards.
Billy's, has to wear a helmet in the short bus. Yeah. Then you should be able to have jumper cables and maybe some like just a kit that.
Yes. You need a kit. You need to know how to do some basic stuff, and I think everyone needs to. And it doesn't make sense that there are people driving around right now who have no idea what they're doing.
Yeah, exactly. I
mean, let me put it this way: if you're not a car person and you are disabled on the side of the road, do you want people a lot of times will be nice and pull over and try and help? Like, how many people do you think are pulling over and trying to help and are driving a Prius?
Like, they're not.
Would you rather have that guy show up, or would you rather have the guy on like the old 65
I'd rather
Mustang?
have the Pennsylvania person that has rigged something.
Yeah.
That knows like, hey, I could rig this here so you could at least get to the next the next gas station. Yeah. Okay, thank you.
You can pour an egg in your radiator and it's like a stop leak and it fixes it and you can take off. Like that guy.
I want that guy.
That guy is. We don't give enough credit to those guys. Those guys are fucking geniuses.
Yes.
Like, they might fuck their cousins, but those guys are fucking geniuses.
Amazing.
Yes. Like fixing a muffler or whatever with a coffee can.
Yeah, exactly.
That's perfect.
Yeah,
I'm not throwing your dad. I'm not throwing your dad in with those people, but I'm saying that's a good guy to have leading you. Like, that's a good guy to like grow up. Like, because I'm sure he was like, you need to be able to change like all this stuff.
Yeah, he showed me how to change the oil.
Yeah,
he's like, all right, we're in the driveway, and he's like, okay, you just got a flat tire.
Yeah,
show me how you fix it.
Yeah.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
and he showed me how to fix it.
Yeah.
You know.
Well, it's like one of those like the small things too. Like when you learn, like I knew how to fix a flat tire, but for the longest time, like I would jack up the car and then try and get the bolts off when I was like 16, 17 because I'm an
Yeah,
idiot.
there's little things that.
Like get them broken off when you're on the ground and then make sure they're tight when you get the car back
But by
down.
like practicing,
Yeah,
you know what you're doing.
I'm a
Yeah,
dumbass.
exactly. And I've kind of felt that way when I like deal with cars and stuff. Like, I remember I changed a starter on like one of my ex-girlfriend's car, and I was
Yeah.
like terrified because I was like, I don't know what to do.
Yeah.
But then, you know, I kind of like learned as I went and like use extensive forum searching to figure out how to change the starter for,
Yeah.
you know, the Mitsubishi Galant.
Yeah.
And then, terrible car, by the way.
No
but,
shit.
But, you know, then I changed it and I was like, oh, I could do this on any car now.
Yeah.
You know, once you do it once,
Yeah.
even like tune-ups,
Yeah.
you could do them yourself if you had to.
Yeah. No, it's like losing your virginity. Like before you fix something on a car, you're just so nervous that you're gonna fuck something up. You're
Yeah,
gonna make
exactly.
a mess, and like everyone's gonna go home crying. And then once
I
you
mean,
do
that's
it,
pretty
you know,
much the story of my life.
Yeah.
You know, it's just like pretty much every time.
we'll talk about this after.
The
Yeah.
10 seconds of fun and the
2 hours of crying.
2 hours of crying. Yes, exactly.
But yeah, so that's more info than we need to know about your proc. But yeah, no, but it's like once you can do one thing
Pretty
on
much
one
by
car
looking at magazines with women and
with
cars.
women on the cars, yeah.
I'm so confused. I just have to look at this and get excited.
Yeah, but what you can do, I'm gonna try and stay on this topic. What you can do, one thing on a car, like it just like opens up like a whole new world of possibilities. Like,
Yeah, you realize it's not really that difficult.
no,
Most of the time, the worst part about changing stuff on a car is getting to the thing you have to change.
yeah,
Like, it's always like, the water pump's in the worst fucking possible position,
Yeah.
and I have to move all this other shit to get to it.
yes,
But then
again-
once you put it in, it's 2 bolts, and then
Yeah.
you're in, and then it's like, now I got to piece everything back together.
yes,
If it was wide open and you could just change stuff,
Yeah.
it takes 10 minutes.
yeah. That's
But most things take, well, also, there's no such, you know, my dad always told me, there's no such thing as a 10-minute job.
no,
No.
You gotta
because something will always go wrong.
yep.
Oh, this bolt came out easy. Next bolt, snap. Oh, shit.
Oh, you were there when I was fixing the Volvo.
Yeah,
God damn it.
Is that's pretty much every bolt on your new Volvo?
Oh,
I mean,
yeah.
your old, new. whatever it
My
is.
new old Volvo, yeah,
Your
yeah.
Skinny, fat, new, old Volvo, whatever the fuck it is.
Something like that. It's a new to me Volvo. So
Yes.
it's actually I thought about this today. It's actually the first car I've owned that. Well, no, it's not. Never mind. I'm wrong. I was gonna say it's the first car I've owned that wasn't from the new millennium, but I forgot my first car was a '93 Tracer. So, but yeah,
But that was in the that was in the 90s when you had it? Or
no, because I was
Oh, yeah. No, you're
2003.
young.
Yeah,
You're young.
yeah.
Me
yeah.
too.
Yeah,
Should know that.
yeah. We're good at math. Yeah, I feel like I was like a teenager.
Good.
I feel like I was a teenager in the like '90s, but I wasn't.
No.
Which is we're feeling old hour with Ike and Proc. So
Yeah, actually, I feel like very old. Give me that coffee can. I'll fix anything.
it just makes me fearful for like there's like new guys and new enthusiasts who like cars, and then they're great because they're keeping tradition alive. But it's one of those things where it's like it's a bit of a dying art form with the old guys who can fix anything with a coffee can and some baling hay, and they're dying off.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
I mean, because nowadays with the new technology, like the Prius,
Yeah.
I wouldn't even know what to do. I'd look under the hood and be like, what the fuck?
Sledgehammer.
Or like a Nissan Leaf or something. Like,
Sledgehammer.
okay,
Yeah.
there's no exhaust.
I don't know. There's a battery
don't-
and a motor.
Sure. How does this work?
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. I don't even know if you can access the battery from underneath, or not even the battery, but the motor from under the hood in a Nissan.
It probably like ruins the warranty if you fuck with it too. It's like,
Yeah, I'm sure it's also like 60 million volts, and it's like if I touch anything, I will die immediately.
yeah, it's like doing like electrical work on your house. Like,
Yeah,
it's if you know what you're doing, it's good, but you can still die.
yeah, that's the fun thing. I remember on a quick aside on that, I was helping my dad do the wiring in the basement of our house, and we had the circuit breaker turned off to where we were working, but we had the fluorescent light bulbs in. And this is a public service message to everyone. Fluorescent light bulbs have, if you don't know what capacitor is, it's basically a giant battery. So
And they charge for a while.
Yeah, so I went to put in a light switch for those to switch from a light switch up and down to a dimmer, and I went and I touched both wires at the same time, and I electrocuted the shit out of myself. It's like the breaker's off, but all the fluorescent light bulbs are still charged. So it's like, oh, that's good. Yeah. I shocked myself enough though that at this point it's just like, ow. So
Yeah.
someone turn off the power. So yeah. Never shocked myself working on a car, though. We'll say that. So
Yeah.
I'm quite proud of that. And on that positive note, I think we should end. So
Yes, thank you for listening,
Yes.
and we will be back next week. Thank
more.
you.
Yep.
Leave
So
some comments.
again, if you could leave us a iTunes review, that really helps. Please tell a friend. That's the best way to spread the message. You don't have to pay anything. You don't have to give any money. Just tell someone else who you know likes this sort of stupid humor. Send us a Twitter at Untitled Car Show. That always gets me. Or send us an email, untitledcarshow@gmail.com. Or find us on Opposite Lock. We're always posting stuff about the podcast. Or if you want to call in, send us an email.
Yeah, when we do the episode, the lines will be open for your calls.
Yep.
Thank you so much, and we will see you next week
Yes.
for the next episode.
Yes.
Good night.
I love you all. We want to be inside your ear. Yeah.
I want to be inside your muffler.
Creepy.